Okay, 6 months. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. This is our special meeting of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Ormy. We are meeting today, Tuesday, October 29th at 6 p.m. in the Commissioners' Chambers here at the Municipal Building, 14729 Quarter Horse. Call to order and determine if a quorum is present.
Commissioner Ormy Guzman.
Here.
Commissioner Sebastian Martinez.
Here.
Mayor Kazana.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the... I'm sorry. Please rise for the invocation, followed by...
God be merciful unto us all and bless us, especially do we pray that we may have your guidance in making our decisions at this meeting. We ask this in your name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Do we have any citizens to be heard?
Tammy Barlow. Hi. Mr. Mayor, on October 11th, we took me to court for the third time. The judge said take nothing except what was in the court, and that was $3,850. On that day, October 11th, he came to my house again and gave me another 10-day cure of $6,000, $6,140. You cannot do that. That's contempt of court. You cannot do that. You can't. The judge can't. He tells you what to do. You have to go by what the judge says. What I owe you is November's rent and the water and the trash. I'll be glad to pay. Guy that came to my house, that's your manager. And she said, I'm sorry. She gave me the papers. She says, I feel like they're harassing me. I said, yeah, they've been harassing me for a whole year. I know you want me out just because I protected other people there. You know, I'm a good person, but if you attack me, I'm coming. And I'm gonna come and I'm gonna take it down, I promise. So, you know, it's ridiculous. You cannot go and say, you gave me a 10-day notice cure, not paying. Then you came back, 10-day cure notice other than not paying. Then take 10-day notice to vacate for non-payment and unauthorized occupant. Then 10-day notice for a holdover. You can't do that. That's harassment. You know, you gotta stop. It's ridiculous. All year my mom was dying and you harassed me. I couldn't even take care of her. It was sick. And I know I know these people think you're a good person. I pray you're a good person. Stop. Let's work this out, because if not, I'm going to go file. I'm going back to court and get you for contempt of court. Contempt of court. Contempt of court. It's got to stop. That's my home. I live there. That's your land. If you want to pay $90,000, give me a piece of land, go ahead, because I can't afford it. I'm disabled. I have a heart condition. I have 3 stents in my heart. I'm basically dying. You know, I get $1,090. Thank you. I have heart failure. Okay, thank you.
All right, is there anybody else? All right, we're going to move on. First item is our consent agenda for A, approval of minutes, and B, approval of the police report and statistics. Did we give them? I have. make a motion.
Make a motion, we approve consent agenda.
Motion's been made to approve the consent agenda. Is there a second? The item has been seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Number 2, approval of financial update. I found this pretty exciting to go through. So this was our end of the fiscal year. Just point one thing on the top right corner says update.
Yeah, it's an updated document, I didn't update the title, and I didn't want to do it again.
Just to kind of go high level, overall, our contract towing is about 34,000, less than what we had hoped. Had a later start to that, hopefully it's stronger this year, as we did see quite a tick up towards the latter half. Fines and fees are down 33,000. Hopefully that's going to tick up after we go to court twice a month. Good news is our general sales tax is up 123,000. But I'm curious, Valerie, when we budgeted this was net of the street improvement fund portion, right?
Yeah, so of that, I think it's $71,061.51 is to streaming.
So overall, about $50,000 higher than expected. It's overall good since we have some lower. The biggest loser on here appears to be the warrants and civil collections. It's $180,000 loser. We have Lineberger set up. Hopefully we're gonna
It should be up and going, within the next 30 days.
Sorry, that's fantastic. Overall, it's about $130,000 difference. On our expenses, I like how you highlighted some of these that were off, so like the insurance, which I think we've already talked about. Membership's $1, not concerned. Materials and supplies, 500. I thought we had ended the newspaper.
We did, that is the amended amount. We didn't-
1,000.
Yeah, it was originally 500.
Luckily, our miscellaneous was under 2,000, so that kind of makes sense.
And then the supplies, and materials and supplies, and those are because we bought the new computer.
We have no miscellaneous.
Yeah.
So all in all, so taking out the capital improvement funds and street maintenance funds, I came up with actual expenses compared to our budgeted amounts of 722,000, where we had budgeted 910,000. Overall, I think that's a phenomenal number. It makes it to 130,000 under revenues, and I'm very pleased to see that. So kudos to managing the budget and keeping us well under our expenses. Overall, with all the transfers, our bottom line is a positive $43,000
For the general fund.
for the general fund. So overall, that's any positive number is a good number. So I think that's. I didn't have any comments for us, but it seems to make sense unless y'all have any other questions. I don't have anything else to do now. Except obviously the capital improvement fund, that's just our grant difference.
Yeah, that's what it is. It looks ridiculous, but it's really not.
And I saw the general ledger look like everything that came in. Thank you, Sanchez and Wilson. I saw a lot of those coming in.
Yeah, we're caught up with career retention.
So these are our final numbers. We're not gonna have any of
No,
this.
this is final.
Last year, where we're trying to amend project budgets.
No.
This fiscal year far superior than the previous fiscal year, as far as our.
I do think the previous fiscal year, I don't think the numbers are correct because I do think it triple counted, salary, payroll taxes and retirement. Because that's something I figured out doing this.
So we can turn that back.
Well, they said that we couldn't amend it, but I don't think it was as far over.
We can't amend the prior year.
No, we talked about it, we can't.
We did talk about it.
Yeah, it's in the past, so we just have to, I mean, it's gonna
I mean, I
show
can
that
do like
surplus
internal.
or deficit from this year.
So then this doesn't give us any we weren't able to amend this to the prior year, we can just show it as separate accounting.
That's what we discussed.
So overall, it's not a positive. From our operating year, it's a positive, but we did count last year. So this year, we're actually going to show it as a
Because we have to carry it.
because we're carrying over 222,000 from last year. The current year stuff's good. Okay. Would anybody like to make a motion on the approval of financial update?
I make a motion we approve the financial update.
Motion's been made to approve the financial update. Is there a second? So the approval of the financial update, there's been a motion made by Commissioner Martinez. Item has been seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. In the future, can you put discussion and approval? We do like to discuss. All right, number 3, update on financial audits.
I finished 21 and 22, and it's all submitted. So,
Submitted to the auditor. What's the turnaround?
I don't know. They had quoted us 200 hours. So,
Finally.
but I'll follow up with you by tomorrow. See if I can get a time.
Can you put that in the update? And then what about the prior year? I thought you were from 2 years.
Yeah, we did fiscal year 21 and 22. So they're both submitted.
Oh, 1 and 2, not the,
Yeah, we did 21 and 22.
so next would be 23. So that would be 23, this year month end, 24 of that, that's 24.
So it would be from 2022 to 2023, and then 2023 to 2024.
Yeah.
But that won't take,
Years.
no.
When do you have those 2 ready?
I mean, basically, it's just pulling it out of the computer.
Okay. So I think we approved for 2 years.
We approved 21, 22. That's the letter of engagement that we signed was for fiscal year 21, 22. They would do it as one audit for both years.
Okay, well, let's get to that and figure out the other 2. Okay. No action there. Number 4, discuss, consider, and take possible action on the occupancy and development code and all matters related thereto. City administrator.
Oh, actually, Commissioner Martinez is the one who asked me to put it on the agenda.
Yeah, I'll put it on there because we've been kicking this around so much. It's, I don't know. To get it moving, we can either move it or we can approve it subject to changes. You can change these codes when we want to as we go along. Instead of taking the code so long, and we spent hours on it already.
Yep.
And everybody had, the mayor and myself, whoever had something, let's put it on our agenda.
I like breaking it down by the chapters. So what we've been given today, which I assume is the final, chapters 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, and 11. Because like we talked about, trying to get the public involved, we want to have public hearings on, especially when it comes to the land use plan, with occupancy, with the various chapters. Right now we have the planning on the books, which is good, and we're still working with Bear County to get that situated to where we can work with Bear County with our ETJ according to our planning ordinance. But what I really liked about looking at the overall development code is the planned district. What I like about it is the marketability for it. So a big developer comes in and they say, hey, I need to spend X amount on water, I need to spend X amount on sewer. The numbers aren't working with certain requirements. So they can come in and we can then sit down and say, hey, for this project, we can approve this district according to these asks, as it might conflict with the development code. I would fear putting this some of this, not all of it, on the books now might deter those developers from coming in. We've had conversations on trying to attract commercial development, the rooftops that the commercial developers are telling us we need, to justify the commercial investment. I still want to keep that door open for the developers. My concern with some of it is just the increased cost, like we talked about earlier, and I like passing it all together. However, let's go through each of the chapters that are here presented, and I think we have some items we can discuss with each of these chapters, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 10, 11.
Meeting back today.
Right, well, there's a few items that are blank in here that we would need to consider before passing it.
I'm ready to address those.
And just before you get started, Brandon, this land use map, is this updated?
The land use map should be updated with the parcels on it, and it's at a larger scale. So I think that the last meeting, y'all had asked for it to be updated with larger parcels or with parcels.
Blown up.
Yeah, it's the last version that I provided is a large one. So I was not thinking that we're going to be talking about the future land use map today because we're not talking about zoning.
Right.
So today,
I just included it so you would have it.
just for you to see what I followed through. Yeah.
I just put it in here so y'all would have it.
Yeah, it's a 24 by 36. So in a subsequent meeting when, we talk about zoning and we talk about future land use, whether that, I think that's kind of yet to be decided how we're going to do that process. We still need to go through the survey process as well. Today is just to talk about more of the development standards that, don't necessarily have to do with zoning, but have to do more with infrastructure and certain aspects of site design that go along with the planning process. So yeah, but absolutely. When we come back and talk, I'll bring a big map of that one.
So we're not really considering that today.
No, sir.
So looking at chapter 5, wetlands and water courses, I don't think there's any minutes in here.
I will add on to that, Mayor, if I may, just since we're about to kind of get into the weeds on things related to planning. Again, just to reiterate, in terms of you bringing up the concern about the planned development district, the city, in my opinion, we make sure to ask the city attorney, but I don't see any concerns from a planning standpoint, having been a public official myself, with adopting the planning and zoning or the planned development district regulations prior to going through and making any changes to zoning, because by merely adopting the planned development district ordinance itself, you're not changing any existing zoning classifications. And that's really where you need to go through a fair and judicious process to let property owners know. Just merely by adopting the planned development district regulations, all you're doing is just putting another tool in your code for people to use if they choose. But you're not adding any of the requirements on the people. So I would definitely recommend, after tonight, I would recommend, at the next planning and zoning commission meeting, bring the planned development district zoning back. And that only requires a notice in the newspaper to let people know that there's something in your zoning code that's changing. But like I said, you're not changing any, per the local government code's interpretation, you're not changing anybody's zoning that they currently have. You're just giving them the notice. Y'all can totally do that. In fact, I would recommend doing that. I
like that because it puts the city and the developer brings it together, because we have projects that are being considered that we're not working together on. We have some items here that might have some teeth, but if it just doesn't work, it's something we can come to the table, right? I think that's more.
It's more flexible.
More flexible.
It allows the city to be more flexible in its implementation of its policies in order to facilitate a better overall project.
And that's the intent of planned development district zoning. The purpose, as established by, I think, the Supreme Court, and there's tons written on planned development districts. The purpose of a planned development district is to provide flexibility in land use and to provide for some modifications in development standards. And it's really intended to apply to large scale projects, because the idea is that there's no way to write zoning regulations that are going to work for everything. It's just impossible. You have to have some baseline standards, but for a mixed use project or a large master plan community, rarely do those kind of developments actually, are they able to, is the standard zoning able to work for development like that? So that's why cities do planned development district zoning, so you can provide that flexibility. But at the end of the day, the goal is that planned development district will provide for a development that is superior to the regular standards. So it's a give and take. It puts everybody puts the city in the driver's seat to be able to coordinate a really great development if they find it's in the best interest for the city.
But we can still concede things, if we need to on specific development.
Right, you can concede things,
And
exactly.
we can ask,
Exactly.
it's not quite as much of a conflict, right? Or you can have that conversation with the developer that we couldn't otherwise have.
Yeah, exactly. I would, again, my recommendation, you guys still have very, very limited regulations on the books, which is, I think, why we're here tonight. Because at the end of the day, zoning and development regulations, it's, there's a aspect of it where it's, intended to facilitate and promote things, right? But then there's also the primary aspect, which is the role of government at the end of the day, which is to protect your existing citizens. So that's why I recommend y'all come out here with the regulations that we have on the books. I recommend y'all approve those tonight because the goal is to protect. That's the number one thing, to protect. And then comes next is incentivizing and those types of things. So I think the PD is the incentive aspect of things. And in the regulations here that we're looking at are protecting, because y'all don't have those. Some cities have lots of regulations on the books, and so they can take more time to develop those, and they can take a year and a half or so to do a comprehensive plan, and they can take a year and a half to do their UDC, but they already have regulations there that are protecting. And so in y'all's case, y'all have very limited, so that's why I recommend you do this, because I think that's in good faith to protect people. And then come back to the PD in like 2 weeks, or you have to go through the P&Z process. There's technically a planning commission, so I'd recommend.
I like bringing them back together. But let's talk about, and then we can discuss what we want to do. Let's talk about the holes. We do have a lot in the first hole, I believe it, stop me if I'm missing it. Yeah, go ahead.
We have a bunch of items on this agenda tonight. Why don't you just keep it down the road and have a special session, we can all get together and work on it.
I like that.
We don't have to.
You do have quite a bit on the agenda. I do like passing and get the plan. I like to bring the plan to develop at least that portion. Everything else, I want public opinion, resident survey, or public hearings. I think that would be most optimal. Get as many points of view on this as possible.
Yeah, each one I was going to go to and bring one with my program.
Okay.
So
There-
do that.
There are a couple of holes that I think we hit real quick since we have Brandon here.
That's what happens here.
Yeah, like the fee. So the 6.04 is talking about calculation of the fee. There's some holes in here. Did y'all have a suggestion?
Yeah, so in terms of the size, I think there's two things. Number one, we've got for the parkland regulations, that's something that, when we get this over to Valerie, and so it could get scheduled, but yeah, definitely that parkland amount is 3.27. So she pointed that out to me.
3.27 times number of units
Right.
times persons per unit.
6.04, so the way that legislation is structured, there's a lot of
3.7?
3.27. So there's a lot of this has to do with, impact requirements. You can't, the legal, as interpreted by the Supreme Court, is the city can't really use new development to build a park system. So like if you say you had no parking, you technically wouldn't be able to require a developer to give 5, acres per 1,000 people. Again, it's the purpose of parkland requirements is not to build a park system. It is to maintain the existing level of service that you have in your city. So you can only require parkland from developers at a proportional rate per acres for how many acres you already have in your city. So right now, Valerie and I measured it out, and your park across the way, that's the only park that you'll have. If you take that acreage over there, generally it's about 4.25 acres. So if you were to take 4.25 acres and y'all have on your signs, you've got about 4.25, and you've got about 1,300 people. So if you do the math on it, and this is, I'm happy to send you guys the scholarship that I used for this. It's actually done by Texas A&M. They did a really great job on it. They took park standards on multiple cities throughout Texas. They also took legal interpretations, and they have a recommendation on there. And so the recommendation is to require parkland based on, per thousand people. So if you do the math, 4.25 acres is, there's 1,300 people right now, and you currently have a 4.25 acre park serving 1,300 people. So if you do the math on that, that's basically 3.27 acres per thousand. So we got that number plugged in.
And that'll be in here, just like.
Yes, sir. I've got it in the draft, so I'll take that. So sorry for that whole, that's my.
The other one was 6081, was the number of dollars per person, is that also?
That, actually, that's gonna take a little bit more time. Again,
That's what I was asking. I don't know how much we paid for this land.
She actually stayed because I was back. But I didn't work for it, I was against it, so I don't even remember.
I would say just the improvements, but I guess it wouldn't.
Yeah, I
Wasn't it?
pretty much estimate the improvement. It was small. Oh, I don't know what the.
It was back in 2008.
you could, you could make an argument, and again, maybe Jacob and I can look at this in terms of the legal background on it. I mean, you could look at the fair market value of the land right now, because really, we're looking at the value of things right now. How much, if you have a park that was built in 1952, it's like, yeah, $100 or something. I mean, but you're looking at the value of the equipment over there right now. You're looking at the value of the land right now. You're looking at the value of the canopies right now. How much of these things, the idea is that if you get a development in the city limits or outside the city limits, another 1,300 people, which it's looking like you're going to get that plus a lot more, what's it going to cost for them to build another one of these? And so that's what you're looking at. So really, that's what the city manager and I can do.
Between now and the next.
Between now and the next one is look at all the improvements, look at the land, and we can come up with dollar amounts for those particular things.
Do y'all have a date in mind?
Well, I think we have our next regular meeting, third Thursday, so 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
That's good for me.
Or if we wanted to have another workshop between now and then with the big blown up map.
Matt, yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to go back to that. So maybe we have a workshop between now and then, and we bring this back with the plan district.
That sounds good to me. We can just move it.
Yeah.
I think we have to have a motion.
Right. Correct. You good with that? Okay. Any say Browns?
Sure.
Any say Browns? Anything else to add?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, number 5, discuss, consider, and take possible action on city engineer updates and proposal regarding city projects and all matters related to city administrator now.
I didn't make it to the meeting. So she sent us an email that
So we've already directed her on the water study.
we have, but I think we were expanding the wastewater.
Right. So is there anything from what she noticed that you can,
She sent the street maintenance plan, but I don't see a cost estimate
I didn't see a cost estimate on either.
on either, yeah, I don't. She was supposed to give us cost estimates, and then she was supposed to give us a cost estimate on the internet. And, the GIS platform is ready, so she was supposed to present that.
So I would bring this back to.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Brandon.
Sir, thank you.
You, Brandon.
Number 6, discuss, consider, and take possible action regarding updates by South Texas Infrastructure Group on phase 1 of the sewer project.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioner, how are you? Valerie, how are you? Well, we're continuing with the project as discussed. I know we've been in touch with Valerie several times, and I know, first of all, let me present the picture, of course, and then, Pepe, council. So, we're continuing as scheduled. We submitted the 75% on the project. We've been coordinating with SAWS and also with utility companies that, the one, for instance, is the light company, providing power to us and also the coordination of utility alignments and so on and so forth. At this point, the further we get into the design, of course, we're getting into more details as far as the, in layman's terms, basically leaving the future lift station ready for the future of Army. And what we captured is basically a lift station that we can capture up to 7,000 in population for the city of Army, which is a big jump from where we're at, 1,200, 1,300 people that we have currently in Army. We're continuing to receive one or two that's trickled down as far as slowing down on the number of people that have responded on the easements.
Yeah, I have some, out that are supposed to be getting back to me, so. I'm
Okay, good.
sorry.
Good. So starting this week, possibly we might have a couple of people come and help present themselves to you to come and see if we can start knocking on some doors for these easements that we had discussed last time, Commissioner, on going door to door and asking for permission just for us to basically continue on the survey and the allowing the environmental team to come in and do the environmental studies. So far so good. The lift station itself continues to be, how deep, and need some detail.
It should be about 12 feet wide, about 23 to 25 feet. So we're still getting to the details. But it should be around 23 to 25 feet deep, more or less.
Can you show me the map more or less where it would be?
The lift station itself is gonna be about 23 to 25 feet deep. We're proposing 4 pumps.
This is the first one?
This is the first one.
That's
The main one. And that's the one that we're designing to make sure that it captures 7,000 people or plus. We're basically working on with the different pump companies that basically design these pumps to be able to capture these. What we're gonna do is, the reason we divided into 4 sections was that the population of one Army is not gonna explode from 1,000 to 7,000 overnight. And it's gonna take a few years for them to get to that point. So what we decided to do is basically divide them amongst four different pumps. And as the city grows, the lift station itself will be enhanced to basically pick up whatever sewer is in the area. So, I don't know how much you can talk about sewer, knowing that the project is basically, putting in that trunk line down 35. The most important right now is to go to the next step. And I know you have an agenda item to discuss the public meeting, which is on December 12th, I believe.
Actually, just go ahead and read these items then.
Sure.
All at once. Number 11, discuss, consider, and take possible action on December 12th, 2024, public meeting regarding phase 1 of the sewer project. Number 12, discuss, consider, and take possible action regarding right-of-way permission slips for properties located along phase 1 of the sewer project. And 13, discuss, consider, and take possible action on October 29th, 2024, meeting with Holloway and Lebanon.
So Rebecca from Holloway has called me and, she does not think that the 12th is, she thinks it's gonna have to be after the 12th. But she doesn't think they'll be ready by the 12th.
Okay, so there's a couple of things that are still missing from the environmental, and that's something that hopefully we can get as soon as possible, Laurie.
I sent you what I have.
Okay, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to see if we can provide a history to the public of how the community became a city in the first place through public meetings, of course, and the public meetings at that time, the request from the citizens at the time when it became a municipality was to provide sewer was one of the most important things. Number two was public safety and of course parks, and so on and so forth down to this. But we'd like to show a history of when we started back in 2008 down to, when we started back in 2016 to start applying to the Texas Water Development Board for some SRF funding and EDAP funding also. And then, of course, the ARPA funds that came in that we applied for, and we were able to acquire, and also some construction money that it was very working together with the Congressman's office to get construction money out of it. So we plan to put a whole picture together for this public meeting, and I think.
I sent it to Rebecca too.
Okay, good. Yeah, we had a meeting yesterday with her, just to make sure that she was capable to put all of this together for us. So.
The hallway environmental.
One of the questions that we had was whether there was already a wastewater master plan in place.
I emailed you what there was. There was like originally in the master plan, water, wastewater.
We're recommending maybe just tweaking that slightly because I think SAWS is taking the approach that they want to make sure that this project lasts for 20 years. And so we've done the math. We think 7,000 population from 1,200 to 2,400 to 4,800, or to get to 7,000, which is what we think is the adequate capacity, is reasonable within 20 years. So if we could have the city adopt something that says that using the data, even if it's 1 or 2 pager, it'll help us to justify our application with SAWS. And we could do that, and maybe approve it at when we have the December meeting or the November meeting. But they keep asking for that document, and so it's almost like pointing inward. But we need to make our own findings of what we think, and it obviously can't be something very expensive or complex. And we think we can develop it just no additional cost.
Okay, so I know we talked about that last week.
Just make it small. Well, we already have like approximately 200 lots in the city limits that are going to be. It's not going to take 20 years.
I don't think it'll take 20 years either.
I think it's going to happen way faster than that.
To get to
Yeah.
So I think it'd be a lot faster.
Yeah.
But at least the initial phase, what we're building up to, can be upgraded, right? So
Yes, yes.
7,000, then it'd be on those developers.
yes,
And I could also see it where it gets expanded further.
I guess
More people are gonna use this. And really
Yeah,
market it.
that's
Install
what I
it,
can
then pay for the upgrade. It's kind of
Okay.
like thinking on the 7,000, like what our land is.
I think 7,000 going to happen fast.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
I hope so.
And we hope so too. The challenge is that if we say it's 14,000, then we need to build it for 14,000, and then that's going to make the project more expensive, and then that'll delay the project, and that'll just delay the amount of time it's going to take for the people to actually get here.
That makes sense.
The only difference though between the wrong 7,000, 14,000, you upgraded the lift station.
That's right.
Not the actual pipe.
Well, and the lift station's already, the wet well, okay, so let's just explain real quick on the lift station. It's a wet well, it's a big tank, basically, that's 23, 25 feet deep, that receives all the sewer, and basically at a point or a juncture where you have to really pump that sewer back up, which is what we're doing at the end of this I-35 intersection with the river, right? We're capturing as much as we can, which is basically 3/4 of the city. And after we capture it, we pump it back up and send it. So, and then there's another lift station that's gonna be proposed, which is the main, and I'm talking main lift stations, because there's gonna be others, because the city has a lot of contours, as we all know, there's hills and valleys and Ormy. But the 2 main lift stations are gonna be set, one at 1604 and the main one being over here at Medina River. So what the lift station basically does is it captures all the trunk lines that run to it, gravity 9, right? And then it pumps it up and then pumps it with a force main to the ultimate destination, which is the 60-inch sewer line that belongs to SAWS on the other side of the river. That's the basics of what this lift station is gonna be doing, right? So we're gonna design the wet well, which is a tank, for the ultimate, use, which is the 14,000, right? Within the 14,000 will be, sets of pumps, as we have discussed, and these pumps would be set in place as development occurs. And whatever is needed for force mains, of course, the development will take care of it for future purposes, right? And we're still discussing with saws, the possibilities of maybe putting two lines, one being in use up to the 7,000, and then 65, and then put another, force main to be ready and set for the future, of course. That's our plan.
And the only thing is that and something that we have to be in agreement with SOS is that the gravity line has to be sized for the whole 13,900 people.
That's the receiving.
The actual gravity line that's on the ground, 15 to 20 feet deep.
So the 7,000 is just a limitation on the pressure
On the pump station.
Yeah.
pump station. Yeah.
So
Everything else would be built for it.
yeah, if they're in agreement with
Yes.
us, we haven't finalized that too. So if they agree for us to size the gravity line on the underground for the whole master plan, the future plan, then we should be okay with sizing the lift station that way and have a future force main to be installed.
That's right. So, the other, issue that we're gonna need is the ultimate master plan that you,
Yes, you send me a
So I
preliminary,
sent you what I have,
okay.
so
is that it, or are you?
that's all I have.
That's what,
Can we finalize it, adopt it?
It was adopted.
It was adopted? Okay.
it wasn't up,
Yeah.
Okay.
that was preliminary, it wasn't.
Okay,
What I sent you, that's all I have. I don't have anything else. I just have
but it's
I
something
just have
that,
a PDF, like a scanned copy of it. I don't have
no, but is there something maybe that your engineer was gonna be working on the possible future of land use?
We did talk about, so it sounded like saws needed it updated, but what it sounds like, we haven't seen what we already have. Have you ever seen what we already have?
I sent it to them.
The saws?
Oh, Paul's like.
We turned in one that we came up with, so we hadn't had this one yet when we turned it in.
So we'll do that. What we'll do is we'll submit
We're
what's
supposed to
been
do that
adopted.
now, because it is something we're already thinking about, as it relates to water and
Yeah.
updating a big
We're
picture.
applying for a grant to like redo the master plan.
Okay,
But instead of slowing it down any further, they haven't seen what we already have. let's see what we already
we'll do.
have.
We'll submit what we had.
So I don't think that's very far off, honestly.
Okay.
We're just kind of changing with,
What were some of the other limiting factors with SAWS and the USA agreement?
For now, it's just basically they want to finalize the master plan and they wanted some explanation of the calculations that we're doing. So it's just basically send them the calculations that we have, explain it, and just.
They coincide with each other, and that's what we gotta be close to exact.
Okay,
So
so
what
have
we'll
y'all gotten to a point where y'all are looking at an actual USA document? Because I would like to review that before we sign anything.
Yeah, no, when we get there, that would be a workshop in itself, if you don't mind.
I want to see it. I want to see it too.
Yeah. Yes, of course. Yes,
Because then once we get that in place, that's the limiting factor on getting the grant language changed with the county to get it turned over to SAWS.
Could you take a question from the audience?
I'll take it, sure.
Sir, Mary? Wanna
I
ask?
apologize, I gave her back to.
They're here.
I can't see a map or anything, so I have no idea.
This
Oh, this is
It's
the
not
schedule.
that.
Calendar.
This is the timeline. This is the.
We have a set of plans here if you'd like to.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am not a resident of Ormy. I'm a resident of San Antonio. I live by corridor. So I'm just here to listen to what y'all are planning to do with the property on the other side. But I'm assuming from what y'all are talking about, there's going to be something more important and more detail for residents in December 12th. Is that what?
Yes.
Well, it's a public meeting, that's what we're planning to do, December 12th, contingent upon.
Contingent upon the environmental approval. Well, if there's gonna be a whole list of.
What is your next meeting?
Did you receive the letter in the mail, Mr.?
We're discussing what we're gonna do with that.
Okay.
Sir?
Yes.
Okay, Mrs. Duristy spoke with you yesterday about what's gonna happen. What she wants to know is, it's gonna take 30 feet from the property, right? She's across the river, Duristy campers. Are you aware of that?
The 30 feet easement that is requested? Well, that's, I guess that's a policy that's set by SAWS, yes. As far as, depending on the size of the,
This is showing business, and this is livelihood, and if you don't go out of business for, I don't know when this is coming about, like 10 years from now?
Okay.
what, the sewer?
Check that out. But anyway, Larry, can you get up and explain to, come up front, so we can. Yeah, come up front.
Okay, I know nothing about what y'all are planning. Again, I'm a resident of San Antonio, I live on the other side of the river. This will benefit Von Army. What I'm hearing y'all gonna do is you want to use our property to come through with a pipeline
That's
or sewer. This side of I-35.
on the east side of 35.
Well, what about the vacant property where there's no businesses and no residences? The railroad side, the Amazon side. You have to just go in there, and you're not gonna disrupt my business, my home next door, my neighbors and their businesses. Why are you choosing the east side instead of the other side?
Okay, so part of the problem.
Again, let me tell you, I'm a novice to this, I just learned about this in the last few days, so.
Sure,
Whatever y'all are talking about, and been talking about for months, I know nothing of. It's just, I want to protect my property.
sure. And I'll be happy to answer as best as possible, and if there's other questions, I'll be happy to answer any other question. I'll be happy to sit down with you,
I have
as long as
two
you-
partners in my business, and they're unable to be here tonight, so
Okay.
I'm the ears of my other two partners.
And I'll tell you one thing, part of the public meetings, and this is for everybody, I want to address everybody as much as possible. It's kind of hard to do it, but part of the public meetings is to make a final decision, and that's why it's an environmental process, and it's a public invited, process that we go through, right? And this is for any and all projects that we do, public well, public projects. But it's a process that you do, that you present to the public basically gives your comments, and part of the comments are the ones that we either discuss with the commission and say, okay, these are decisions that were made by public, most of the public said this, and basically, we have to make a decision on what's best for everybody, right? And that includes you, it doesn't matter if it's a City of Army, citizens, we're all citizens of this good earth, and we're all good people, and we try to make the best of it for everybody. So, let me start with, I can sit down with you and your partners, and I can show you the project. And prior to the public meeting that we will have, on December, okay? I can do that with you guys, and we can set up an appointment for next week, if you like, early next week. And I'll come up here and we can sit down, all three of us, four of us, and maybe Becca, you can join me and we can just show you the project, show you what we got, and show you what the intention is. And of course, then we'll have a public meeting. We'll take comments during the public meeting also. That's the idea for the public meeting, to take notes and take comments from the public, not necessarily again from one army, but from people that will be part of the project. So whatever you like, I'll give you my phone number.
I'll take your phone number, I'll talk with my partners. Again, our business is a family business, we're 4 generations deep, 58 years. I don't want to ruin my property.
And the intention is not to ruin anybody's property. I want to make sure everybody understands that. The idea is not to damage anybody's property.
What are the intentions?
The intention is to provide sewer to the city of Ormy. That's
And then
the-
before, because of more housing and stuff coming in, is that what basically it is?
No, the intention right now is to fulfill sewer to the city of Ormy. They've never had sewer. Okay, that's the first intention. That's the reason for this project. and why it got started.
And I'll add that this has been a long-term plan, project, goal of the city since 2008. It's been not only a limiting factor in growth, but there's also health and environmental concerns. There's, these old septic tanks, as they go bad over time, they can be very expensive to repair. They can create certain health effects.
So they can probably go around your property.
We'll keep it. But I do have a question on that, and regarding, so in your map here too, and I'm very loosely familiar with some, how you can do pipelines and whatnot, and I see under this structure, I was surprised to see this, I guess the first time I'm seeing to this extent of what it's going under existing structures. So when it comes to talking about, hey, what is this gonna do to disrupt, existing?
Yes.
That's proposed easements, yeah.
Yeah.
Proposed easements.
How much of this is gonna be bored versus just dig up and place the line?
We're gonna try to do our best to make sure that we stay away from all structures. For now, this is the proposed easements according to SAW. Of course, as we get closer to the agreement with SAW, this will be finalized as far as showing them exactly how it.
Excuse me, please. And so I wanted to bring up the point, so as it comes to disrupting these existing properties there, so there's a scenario where some of it could be bored
That's right.
under, so there's existing houses, there's other businesses, this is gonna be going through, we're talking about an easement that's deep underground.
Yes.
And there is, to a degree, an ability, it sounds like we don't know to what extent, like, we're gonna have to dig a line to place the line versus being able to come over here and bore underneath to drive it.
And all possibilities, those are the ideas for us to bring up, and especially in public meetings. 4 generations long, that's a lot of years, and I know that, we don't want to be disrupted, not even a day or two, right? So, and we understand, we've been around construction forever. Forever. We've been around construction for a while. So we understand the concerns, but again, going back to the public meeting, that's one of the most important, where the public is invited to come in and discuss exactly what their thoughts are on their personal properties, not necessarily on the whole project or the project as a whole and the needs of a community that doesn't have sewer for so many years, but also for your own purposes that you have basically an infrastructure within your property, right?
And I'll add something that, for example, the city of San Antonio, for the most part, has sewer all over. And it's not something that impacts the surface for the most part. So once the sewer line comes in and you cover it up, you can use it for parking, you can use it for a lot of things. And usually, the alignment occurs at the edge of the property where by law, you can't build there anyway because of setbacks and so we try to be cognizant of that. And we're not going to be going through the surface of your house. We're going to be going through the very edge and putting in a line on the ground that you'll never, once it's in place, you'll never see it again. And there's also going to be a compensation process where whoever has land taken from them is going to be paid for the value of the land that's been taken from them.
So just touching back on the use of this system, because I know a lot of them, the use of the system is because not only is there septic tanks in the city of Ormy, but there's also cesspools. And because, and you know this, Commissioner, because we've been around for a while, right? But cesspools is a little bit, prior to the 1950s that were built, and basically cesspools were just a tank made out of brick. And what does that tank of brick do? It basically leaches out. Of course, it's been doing it forever, right? But the idea is to modernize the city, to basically get a little bit more environmental friendly. And that's the reason for the project also. Right? Not only for growth, but it's for us to provide sewer for existing. Yes, ma'am.
This one just sounds like a stupid question. But
No question is stupid, I believe you.
we'll see. So all of these residents, if everybody, the 1,200 people, you might just be like 600-700 houses, you have 200 people per house. But for all these houses, how much of the water sewage will get back to saws so we can recycle?
Well, the idea, okay, this is a long-term plan,
Yeah,
right?
I think all it's going to go back to saws, and they have a system where they capture all the water, they remove the bacteria and other vectors, whatever may be in it, and then they return it, I believe, to the Edwards aquifer, and then it comes back up. after the whole natural process. So technically they're recycling all that. But under Texas law, you're not allowed to get water from a wastewater treatment plant and put it connected to houses. So that there's a way that it kind of goes through the rivers and different mechanisms. But the idea is all the water that they treat ends up returning to replenishing, whether it's a river or an aquifer or some sort of body of water. Yes.
Not a stupid question.
Yeah.
Next question.
Yeah, and so we're talking running phase one, long term, there's been multiple phases to bring it throughout along I-35 or primary phase. But a question regarding our public hearing, will we know the answer to, where, once we'll be at the point in our planning to know where we can bore from versus what needs to be dug up?
That's the reason that we need those letters.
So we won't know that by the public hearing.
Well, if we get those letters and we go into those houses, we tie them down with our GPS, then we'll know exactly what to do and how to go around them and see if saws. Sometimes you can't get through with an easement, right? So we're gonna have to ask saws if we can go through TechStop for pieces of
Is that what this is?
line.
Is that what this is?
Yeah, it's not.
Or what's it doing this?
In this case, this house was to go to the right of way. So what we did was to go around.
This is just it, so the line will be inside that. Right? This is the line that will be
This is
inside.
the actual line.
No, that's the actual.
These are, this is the running line.
Got it.
So the line will be inside. So we're trying to go around it now, and we can go through text and it will be verified.
This is the.
I get it now. That
Okay.
makes sense. Okay.
So,
We're gonna need to advertise this.
so what I like to do is take a week. When is your next meeting?
The third Thursday.
Okay, so by the third Thursday, I'd like to make sure that we have everything already set up so we can present to the public. And that's very important for us to get these.
So we could go ahead and publish it then. If y'all want to do
But it's the public hearing, this next public hearing where we're introducing the project, but by then we already need to have all the papers signed.
No.
No.
That's what she
No.
was.
What, that she already wants to,
No, that she wanted to, for us to, maybe we don't have all the signatures, that would be a good place to try to.
that's also a good place to get the signatures from people that need to understand the project before they sign on a piece of paper like that.
I've been getting that, people I've had that
Yeah,
conversation
same.
with, that they want this,
They want more information.
And
I guess that will be the perfect thing, if the whole presentation is gonna be there.
if the commission and the mayor are good with that, and Valerie, I think that would be a perfect scenario where we could set a table aside where people can just basically, after they hear what they gotta hear.
I think it's also important to note that those people in that area are also gonna get a stub out to where they can connect to sewer or something.
Yes.
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 And the
They're
city,
getting compensation and a stub out if we can all work together.
Yes. But I'll give you my number, or anybody can take my number down, 956
Do a public hearing for the-
451 2670. 2670. Just don't call me after 8, because then my wife. Julio 7.
Sir,
No, CERDA.
and did you work for
South Texas Infrastructure. That's engineering firm.
And you want to come to the meeting day?
Well, that's what, so let's
Because I mean, it's
discuss.
gonna be a long public hearing, it's not gonna be a 5-minute public hearing, it's gonna be,
But, okay, I want to make sure it's understood. It's not a public hearing, it's going to be a public meeting.
but, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Public hearing.
I think we might need to have two
You
then.
scared me when you told me that.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is, we're not gonna have that and a regular council meeting the same night. It's not gonna, we'll be.
We'll just call it like a workshop, public, notice of public meeting for the people to come in and workshop and just talk loosely about what's gonna be happening.
So is that something we wanna have like available all day? Like how do y'all want, because some people are available in the daytime, some people are not.
The best thing to do, and this is my personal opinion, and we've done this so many times, that it's the best thing to do is just set a time. Whatever you think that everybody would be happy with, if
We did it like 6 PM, we're not gonna have a public meeting at 6 PM and a regular meeting, is what I'm
No, we
saying.
No, I think what he's saying is if you want to just put like a workshop
Yeah, but we're not gonna do that and have a regular meeting. It's,
On the same day, so we need two
Yeah.
different days.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. We need to divide the days.
Maybe do it on Wednesday, maybe the
Yeah,
Wednesday.
do it on another
before. Yeah, so if our next meeting is our next meeting is the 21st, we obviously need to publish it, we want to get the word out there, we want to do it on the 20th. So we gotta have a public meeting on the 20th, have our regular meeting on the 21st.
December.
We're talking about December, or we're talking
I'm
about
talking about
November? We're
November,
talking about November.
sooner the better, right? We need to
So,
get
but
these
is
people.
that too
No.
soon? That's what I'm,
They're gonna need a little more time, so.
Yeah, the environmentalist is gonna need a little bit more time. So,
According to
okay,
schedule.
so that's what I'm.
We had it on December
Let's,
12th.
let's have a meeting and we can talk to the public. The thing is, the environmental and having the public meeting are two different,
Because we're just
Yeah.
to do like an information session with the public.
okay, let's do that.
let's do that.
Let's do that, just to inform the public and basically just.
So on
In November.
November 20th, Wednesday, November 20th?
That's 4/2.
That is correct.
So we could do it anytime
Well, we could
after
do-
3 or 4 o'clock, just to be safe.
Yeah.
We could keep it open.
We could just have it open until 7?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you want me to post for a public meeting for information about the sewer project on Wednesday, November 20th, from 4 PM till 7 PM?
And then, yes, I like that, sooner the better, get the word out there, we need to get these papers signed. But what does that compare to the December 12th meeting?
Well, that's a different, that's a whole
That's a
different.
whole
meeting.
issue, are they gonna be the same people that need to be at that meeting?
And so I think what the city attorney was saying is that if we do it as a workshop, then the city council can either be here or not be here, and we can still have the
Well,
meeting.
yeah, I would have to post it regardless, but I'm saying we're not gonna do both on a regular meeting night and have a regular meeting and a.
I understand.
It's too long.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, but I'm curious, what's the difference, what needs to
That's
happen
what
with
I'm
that environmentalist meeting, they wanted to do December 12th, they said they're not ready, what is going on?
Because that's for public comment.
Okay, for like an
We won't
official
have enough,
public
we won't have
comment.
enough information for public comment.
Okay.
Do we need both, or do we just?
Yeah, no, we,
Yeah, we're gonna
we
need
have
both.
to have public comment.
Okay.
Yeah, the idea is to have public comment like the young lady that just brought up, her issue. And then once we have issues addressed, we'll sit down and discuss the issues
Yeah.
and see how to best address.
I mean, I'm wondering too, if this meeting in November shouldn't just be strictly informational, like one-way conversation with people. Us telling them what's happening, and they come back and give their
Or
comments.
Even so, if they just do it with staff and not the elected officials, since we need to do that with the public hearing, I mean, I don't wanna do something that's gonna deplete the public comment. You know what I mean? So people come to one and don't come to the other, I don't wanna do that,
Right.
because we have to have them at the public hearing.
Is that the day between Thanksgiving?
No, we're the week before, sir.
Week before.
The week before?
So we could do that like a staff day where we're open for it, and we can still send out the notice. But I don't wanna do it in a way that people are gonna think they came to a public hearing and gave comment, that's not what it was.
And we'll still take comment.
Well, yeah,
Sure.
Yes.
What's the question?
Is this room open to the public at any time, or do y'all have it locked all the time?
We have it locked all the time.
Will there?
We have another, so the office is over there in the blue building now. So that's open during the
Okay.
weekends.
So what if, because will y'all be, during the public meeting, will y'all be posting any of the information about the environmental impacts? Will y'all be posting any information about the plumbing and how that might work in any of your large scale layouts?
that would
For the
be
public?
for the public hearing more than for the information.
Well, for the information, what you can do
Yeah.
is you can already, since that area is already open, post all this information on the wall. So anybody who is available, whether they're off work during any time of the day for a couple days leading up to that meeting, to see what they're going to talk about. And then when the meeting comes, they can actually voice their opinion.
Well, the letters that we sent out say that for Tuesdays and Thursdays for the month of October, we're open for that, but nobody's coming. We've had a few phone calls, but yeah,
Okay.
we have the big graphics and stuff we can post.
We can put it in that.
We can put it in the lobby,
Yeah, I like that.
so we can do that.
Okay, so for the actual meetings, we'll have one in November. And 3 weeks later, we can have it in,
Environmental's not ready, I mean,
no, the one in November is just informational purposes, that's it. Just a one-way conversation. Now, what's happening is that, of course, we're pushing back the continuing of finalizing the design, right? Because of I need to get into those properties. So the sooner the better to try to get into the properties. Now, we can get into some of the ones that we already, have letters from.
Well, so that's another item. So we've talked about having just an open city meeting, 11/20, to come and ask questions. Then we're gonna have the December 20th, phase 1 conversation where we need to get everybody back
Yes,
for public comments on that project. Am I understanding this right?
that's correct.
Well, the December 12th for, Holloway doesn't think they'll be ready by December 12th,
Okay,
so.
well then we can play that one by ear. Let's proceed then. And with that in mind, let's definitely publish for the 11/20. Let's get the word out there. Let's get people in here to have this conversation. And then by our next meeting on the 21st, we'll know about the next public hearing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Then the other item we're talking about on here is the right-of-way permission slips. You had an update for me that we talked about the trunk or treat, where we've each had conversations. I believe we've gone through the list, and we know
Yeah, the people that you know,
that doesn't need to stop. Like, we can
No,
still be getting.
but, like, we don't want the elected officials to go knock on a person they don't know their house, and like, the government's trying to get access to the property, like, let the staff do
Yeah, I
that.
think,
Right, just the people we know. Though.
Yeah, but the people you know, by all means, I mean, Sammy's already connected me with a couple people, Raymond's connected with people.
Don't make that clear.
Yeah,
another thing, information things like that, like sell people on, when you do this, I'm sure you're gonna kill the property up. If you're gonna put it back there like it was.
The idea on set of plans is basically to have the right contractor to build it, right? I mean, and the idea is to put a set of specifications for them to make sure that they put everything back the way it was.
And it can be used.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly the way
And
it was.
use the way it was.
Does it have a warranty on it if for some reason it caves in because our son.
Usually-
Here?
Usually any public project has a 1-year warranty. After that, of course, the city, would have to oversee the construction. So as far as warranties for the people, for the owners, yes.
Okay, we have any other updates? Any other questions?
No.
The one comment I had, I got a call from Bill Paul.
Okay?
The guy that you introduced me to, just kind of touching base, see how things are going, kind of talking about, hey, we're still looking for public-private partnerships, still looking for ways of funding. He told me that some of his clients are getting calls from USDA saying that, hey, we've got more money that we need to spend.
Mhm.
And I'm curious where we are in that process, or if that's something we can put together.
Yeah, I think we need to go through the congressman's office to set up a meeting with the regional office.
I've been working on that.
Yeah. Congressman Sullivan?
Now, USDA, Mayor,
Jalen's the chief of staff. We're trying to set that up for months.
Yeah, it's probably in the campaign trail, so we need to start going down. There's like Ms. Chan and a couple other people at the office that,
So we gotta go through them for the USDA.
it's easier.
yeah, it's better. And if they could maybe join us,
What, do you know when the deadlines are for?
so right now, with the main funding that's going into this from they're calling rural, there's no deadline, so it's just an open, it's like an open process. And so the main issue that we're gonna have is qualifying it. And
Is
so
that still a 70/30?
it's a 70-30 match, 30% match, and then the challenge too is that, you know, with linear projects, some portions of it comply and some of them don't, and usually they require 51% of the projects to comply, so we just need to carve out the portion that does apply and get that funded and just continue piecemeal getting everything through grants. The other thing that we're hearing is that there's gonna be one of the biggest water bills that's ever come across, I guess the state legislature. Chairman Perry, the Senate Natural Resources Committee is gonna be offering this, he's calling it a bill that is gonna impact everybody. So I think that the city, and of course we'll love to go with y'all, needs to be, you know, putting their hand out and saying that we need a program that's designed for communities like ours, that we need a first-time sewer connection, that we don't have a revenue enterprise fund to pay for this. And essentially, realistically, once they pay us one time for this, we're not gonna be coming back for more and more and more. And so, during the last legislative session, they passed SB 8, which was to create projects for new sources of water. But this new bill apparently is gonna be the bill. And there's I guess, record revenue that surplus that the state legislature has, so we need to go fight for those dollars.
What's that called?
The bill that they're gonna introduce, they haven't introduced. So the first date to file bills is gonna be on November 22nd. So they're supposedly, it's already with the legislative council, they're drafting it, and so we'll have the first version as soon as they file it on the 22nd. And from there, we just need to go latch onto it. It's gonna be some huge omnibus bill that's gonna fund everything.
22nd of November.
That's the first day to file bills, so everybody that has their bills lined up, they're just gonna start filing them. But anyway, the legislative session starts, early next year, and I think with having what they asked us for, which was go get the project shovel ready, we can say we're shovel ready, but now help us to build it. And so it's, hoping that we can all go up there 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, whatever it takes to make sure we get funded.
Start in January.
Yes. Yeah. No,
Yeah, let's go.
and we're up there all the time anyway.
Believe me, the more times you get up there, the more times they see you, the more times they remember you. And when it comes down to a list of people that are in there, they remember you, they pick you up.
Yes.
That's the way it works. The squeaky wheel gets the work.
Yes.
And then on our next update call, let's see if Claudia has an update with it.
I talked to her today, it's not done yet.
Okay, we're good. Anything else?
Thank you very much.
Is this ours with you?
Yes, you can.
Yeah. No.
This is mine.
This is what we turned it in.
Junior.
No, that's what we turned it in. Okay, guys, well, thank you so much. Anything else? 956-451-2670.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Huh?
Telephone.
Yeah.
Your wife's call, it's probably the car.
That's my wife calling in.
It's probably in the car.
Yeah.
It's this.
Oh, no. Oh, it is? Oh, I can hear it.
Did you hear it, Rick? What did you do, sir?
I can hear it, I can hear it. I'm sorry, Dan.
It's in the box.
That's embarrassing, huh?
Is it in the box?
Oh, I hear
Yeah.
What?
That's right.
I don't think so.
it. We're engineers, we're not. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. Okay, let's move on. Number 7, discuss, consider, and take possible action on resident survey. I want to bring this item back, something we had talked about back in June, I believe.
Yeah, well, I'm free now, so.
Okay, so we can send that, put it on the survey motion and then mail it, and then maybe one of our nonprofit partners to help too.
We will get it done.
When can we put a date on
Um,
it? We want to send them out and say,
have
hey,
it out by. Well, after Thanksgiving, because we have a holiday, we'd like to have it out by December 1st and have it
hey, we're talking about on your
New Year's.
New Year's, December 31st. Have you seen it? Have all
I've not seen the most evolved version of it.
have all the third parties seen it? I know Brandon has.
Brandon has,
Commissioner has.
I think I saw the original.
it's not, yeah.
I'd be curious if there's anything else we want to put in it. I like that.
The thing is, we gotta keep it short, because
Yeah.
it's long, people won't do it,
Okay.
so it's gotta,
Well, they send it to them.
yeah, I'll get it.
Great. Do you need a motion for that, or are you good?
No.
All right. Number 8, discuss with city attorney's status of economic development lead submission consent.
He sent it to me, so I have it.
Yeah. So, any landowners.
It's not in there, but I have it.
Want, just give this form, and that gives us permission to market them on behalf of the city.
Cool.
Yep.
Number 9, discussion of status of water study.
That was gonna be Ida.
I don't believe we need a motion, we've already said, we've already given her direction to do this. It's just something that said, hey, what you guys want to see. I think that's fine, you know, for her to still proceed with water study. So we've got that. Number 10, discussion on status of welcome sign design and submission.
So last week I met with some landscape architects that design these kind of signs, because Brandon can't do the plans that TechDOT wants, because he's not a, certified architect. So they're getting me a proposal.
Next to you. All right, 11, 12, 13 is done. Number 14, discuss, consider, and take possible action regarding animal control facility and all matters related thereto. Commissioner. Okay.
Couple of items that could be done,
Well,
it's changed to remedial.
so that's up to y'all. So if y'all want us to do it in the bay at the blue building, there's already drains in there. It's connected to the blue building. If y'all want me to see if I can get the project for this shed cheaper, I will continue trying to reduce the cost on that. It's just, what y'all, now, I will say Chief has been picking up dogs. Dogs have been going to Dogs, and they've been going to the Humane Society, so we've been picking dogs up. But as far as our own animal control facility, I mean, if y'all want me to see if to continue to try to see if I can get that project to be cheaper, I will.
Good question. I would be curious as to how much cheaper, but if we did use the base in the meantime, it was like an intermediate.
It would still have to be certified and all that, so.
But to what extent? It's got the drains, it's got cover, we've got the cages.
It's got fans,
We can put the rubber mats.
we have to seal it.
Well, it could be permanent, and probably still say.
Well, I mean, that's the only thing, if we do that, like, we're sacrificing what we could use and pay for.
But if it's temporary, it doesn't cost much to do.
Yeah, it's temporary, you know, but we're gonna have parties there.
Right.
You can't have a dog time. Dogs,
That's the
Well, but it's
thing.
temporary.
temporary.
It's not like we always have a dog as long as we can have a place to take it.
Yeah, I mean,
It's really just
they've been
emergency.
picking them up fairly regularly. So,
Because of-
I do know that.
We need to keep moving through.
I might talk about that.
So it's up to y'all, or I can go back to trying to build an outdoor facility, like, that was cheaper than the building. What do y'all want to do?
I mean,
They don't have one bed.
Well, we've had a couple people come give bids, but his bid was the cheapest. The one that Juan's bid,
For this building here.
Juan's bid was the cheapest. The problem was that the plumbing, because of the direction of the way the lines run, we have to put in a lift station. And then we have to put in a contraption to catch all the dog hair so it doesn't plug up the leash lines. So that's an extra $14,000 we were not planning.
what about if we did it here though? Would that still be the effect, like since the
You're
drainage?
still gonna have to put a,
Well, the drainage is already there.
you're gonna have to have a place for the waste. You can't just,
So that is what's making it expensive, is that we have to put a pump on that building because the gravity lines would be backwards.
So you say it slopes to the back?
Yeah, it slopes to the back, and then we would have to level out the concrete. So that's the issue with that building. Otherwise, it's good. The vet for the state came out and looked at it, and she really liked it. She just told me, you might want to check the direction that water flows in this building, and she ended up being right. So That's what makes it expensive, is that we have to put a pump on it, the hair catchment, and then leveling the concrete. It's an extra $15,000. Otherwise, it wouldn't cost much to do it.
But what would it cost to have a temporary solution over here?
I mean, I would have to get them to come out and look at it to be for sure, but it's already indoors, there's already ventilation, there's already fans, we have to seal the floor, there's already drainage.
When we come back with two different numbers of what a temporary solution would look like using the phase.
But we still have to get certified and all that, even for temporary, we still have to get it certified by the state and have the advisory board, we still have to go through that whole process, even if it's temporary to us, it's not to the state.
Then we have something, we need to use it, hopefully we have our partnerships that we're working through.
That's what we've been doing it with Ben, and it's been working, so let's get the other time.
So this is a solution.
I do feel like more dogs are getting dumped here since he's been picking them up though. Like shit.
We have plenty of dogs.
And we also have a vet office now that will do our quarantines.
So that's where we're at.
So we're gonna come back with two, you're still bidding that out with more options?
Yeah.
Come back with two timelines, two costs, and we can look at if we want to put in the money for the temporary or put in the money to go and fix the building. Either way, we have to have something.
What would you put over there in the building? Not in the building.
In the bay, in the garage, the big garage part.
That's crazy.
I mean,
That's the most crazy thing I've ever heard in this town.
You had an idea, didn't you, regarding the tractor?
oh, we need to sell the tractor. We
You
do.
can sell the tractor.
Yeah,
for
well-
that money.
We could use that money for that.
Yeah.
I had that idea.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I'll get it sold tomorrow. You can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's websites where you can put trackers in.
I know the guy that do it.
I've already had
Well,
we could get approximately $20,000 for it.
That's all right.
So if you want me to do that, I will.
When was the last time you used it?
On the end.
It's not that we don't use it, it's just, it doesn't move dirt, it cuts grass.
Yeah.
It won't, if you fill its own bucket with dirt, you cannot pick it up.
I can sell this shredder too
We need
tomorrow.
the shredder,
I talked
the
to you about
shredder,
that.
no, and the chipper.
I mean the chipper,
Yeah,
not
the
the
chipper.
shredder. The chipper. The guy wants to buy it. He saw it at when we had the party.
I'll,
He says, "Are y'all selling?"
Well, let's bring it.
I thought we were selling the tractor.
That needs to be on the agenda, correct, to get the action to do that, just like with the building back there.
I mean, I think it technically is a limit, but I think because it's a disposal of property, it should come to the board for a formal approval.
Let's bring that next time. So let's bring up that, so we can talk about it as a board, and go to the action to sell it. I'd be curious to know, like, when was the last time you used, like,
I mean, we use it, but it gets used to cut grass. It's a big lawnmower.
but not like here in the ditch?
No, it does.
You can get in the ditches with it now.
Yeah,
Well, he
And
does,
where else
they
is
cut
it
the
done?
easements with it, they do, and then they cut the park with it, but we can do the same thing with the
so
zero.
the same thing with your.
Yeah.
Is there a problem with the hydraulics for the tractor where it's not working?
No, it's just a small
But I would
tractor.
say, we don't have, it's not too much of a comment back and forth, you're welcome to come into the meeting, we can talk about things, we can have our citizens.
You have a sign.
We've been a little liberal with the, questions and answers on certain topics, but we can't really go down, on each item.
So
let's
I
get it
will
done.
work on that tomorrow, and we've got to get enough money to do this.
I like that, let's bring it back to the next agenda, then we can board action, work with Valerie, and if we already have an offer, then we can even have
But
a
it's
special
public
meeting.
property, we still have to dispose of it according to law, I have to put it up, we can use that municipal we did for the trailer.
And we
It's
put it on
public,
Facebook.
it's
put it out
public
there.
property, so we still have to bid it technically, take the photos. So how?
I just don't sell it.
All right, let's put that on the next meeting, we can have a special meeting in the meantime, if we need to. But I like that idea, so we need that. Animal control's a very big high priority.
We gotta get something done. The next person gets the bid, one of the city's gonna get a big bite.
Yeah, we gotta do something.
And I don't have any money.
No, we don't.
We already have, Mike.
We did.
So
Yep.
We've been discussing this for over a year. We gotta get on with it.
Absolutely. Let's sell that tractor and let's build our facility.
Okay, but if we get that money, we build it.
Sell that
So
tractor.
just while we're still on the item, y'all had previously approved, $5,000 and the bid that I got to run the electricity to it, it's like $3,600. So can I go ahead and do that?
We might as well,
Yeah, we can use it for quite a bit,
yeah,
even if we didn't use it for that.
yeah, we can do
But the
that.
electric takes a while. Do they have to set a pole or they're just gonna run it from this pole?
They're just gonna run it, but we were gonna have Art dig the trenches so it's cheaper. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna work around.
Anything else?
No, we should just get it done.
I agree. Okay. Number 15, number 15, discuss, consider, and take possible action regarding the overload Tiger sanitation dumpsters located at Torres Lane, 935. We'll go ahead and read number 16, since it seems related. Number 16, discuss, consider, and take possible action regarding dumpsters in the city of Von Ormy in violation of city ordinance requiring that all waste management services within city limits of Von Ormy be contracted with Tiger sanitation.
Yeah, I just thought that was Valerie.
so,
I think she's done.
code enforcement has made contact with both of these items and the one on Torres Lane, has been picked up.
I saw it on the story.
Yeah,
But the dumpster's still there.
the dumpster's still there. I mean, they pay,
Why
for
didn't
the-
they
they
pick it
pay for the dumpster.
But they didn't pick it up for over a month.
Well, I don't know if they didn't pay their bill or what, but that's,
The dumpster's still
the
there.
dumpster is still there,
There's
but
no trash.
they,
I can see it from the clock.
Tiger cleaned out the dump, they came and they picked up the trash, which they hadn't picked up in a few weeks, so I don't know if they had to pay their bill or what.
And last week,
It's
Tiger
service,
didn't pick up trash. There's three of them
they,
that
they
picked up
missed
the
the
black
street
lane.
clean.
And, like I told you on it too,
Yeah.
Paul called me.
Yeah.
And that trash hasn't made the dump in his order. And this is what he said, they can't get it until next Wednesday. They only have one can. And so they just haven't picked it up.
Is Tiger still on person?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's one of these items here.
Yeah, we're already, working on identifying those and getting them corrected.
And what's gonna happen, if we work out 4 different dumpster companies here, and they're gonna be going around all over the place. And we have an ordinance that says that Tiger has exclusive rights to do the trash and burn, and we had it since 2008.
I know that, that's the one.
Yeah. And,
Well, it's been redone since then. It should be, I believe it's coming out this next year.
I think it's 2025.
I believe you're right.
there's one dumpster right here on,
Yeah, the Four Seasons are here.
you can see it coming this way.
We got the Four Seasons, and then we got JJ's Sanitation.
Yeah,
Apex is another one.
Apex,
Go down there.
yeah,
So, Sergeant Olivo was out scoping out the dumpsters.
Yeah, and then I think the towing, what are they?
Oh, and Noriega, they have
Yeah.
another company too.
Yeah, so,
can't do that. That's the reason we did it, because we didn't want these trash trucks running around all over the place.
Yeah.
And now we got about 5 besides Tigers. So it just got away from us.
When we get our own.
Well, that's what, we need to have that conversation.
You have to get your own, he's talking for the city. Yeah, but that's not unique more than that for the city. There's dumpster all over, I got a big dumpster, and they're all over the place.
So we're talking just the city itself.
He wants the city to do its own trash company.
I like revenue sources. I'd be curious what the, cost benefit analysis would look like. My fear is like 550 households wouldn't carry the cost for the truck, but maybe if we had a.
Install got the truck, I mean, from the way.
The average cost is almost $200 a month.
Yeah.
Every 3 months.
I mean, I think there's a statute on the amount that can be charged. I think it's regulated, but I mean,
Tiger is very expensive.
I can see if I can get Tiger's customer list for the city.
Pay $150 a month.
It's revenue.
So 14. Anyway,
Okay,
So we'll do something with that. What do you get to?
all right, number 17. Discuss, consider, and take possible action to remove wires hanging from CPS poles, power lines from bottom of the road, and report reports and all matters related thereto. Commissioner Martinez.
Yeah, that's right there. This gentleman, well, I shouldn't say old man because, yeah, I'm pretty old myself. But anyway, I seen it in the post office twice. It was last month, and I said, okay, see what we do with it. So I started asking, well, who does it belong to? It belongs to an old TV company that was here, probably in the 70s. Because I had it was like a dish type company. So they come in and put all those lines, and then they went broke and left, and those lines have been there since. Over there on Katana Road, they're so low they're hanging on top of the trees. So it's not just this, I don't know what we do. But and so the old man, I saw him again at the post office, said, hey, you want to him with that wire working
Turns
out.
me nuts.
So I have contacted CPS Energy because we're not supposed to touch their poles. And I called them last summer, because of the ones on Quintana Road. Because Mr.
There's a one that's in the corner.
Anyway, yeah, he came out and talked to me because he was cutting the trees down. He was like, when I cut these trees down, the lines are gonna fall because only the trees are holding them up. And they were kind of low over the train as well. So I called the train and I called CPS Energy, and neither CPS Energy came out and looked at it, and they came in and told us that they weren't gonna do anything. So after Commissioner Martinez came in maybe 2 weeks ago, I contacted Melissa Carrillo, the small government liaison. So she put in a concern for me, and I got an email from CPS that they're going to come out and inspect the lines and determine who they belong to. As far as us taking them down, we can't legally.
Because they have to have permission.
Because they belong to somebody. Even if they went out of business, they're still somebody's property.
So you gotta find, I guess, who bought them out, who took over their interest in the company. And I'm sure there's a rabbit trail to find.
But it is started at least, so.
That's progress right there. Because you could take a bucket truck, swing it over there. It's not touching any electrical wire at all.
We can't do it as a city, if some individual citizen got
Oh, yeah.
frustrated enough, we wouldn't have anything to do with that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good, Valerie, thank you.
Yes, sir.
18, discuss and consider the amount of money received by Charcoal Towing in FY.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
It's on the,
He came over here to the, he was here for the,
it's on.
I didn't ask him anything, but I'm just curious as what they're doing. There was another record service here today. Did y'all call him?
Who? Not us.
Yeah.
Mr. Juan?
So it was $26,254.73.
Is that much money?
And considering Richard Scully paid us $2,000 the year before.
Yeah.
Okay, $26,000.
It's in your packet.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah, and then it goes into the general fund, so we use it for general expenses.
Oh, that's good. 2, 5, 4.
About half of what we thought it would be.
Yeah.
But it took them a while to get going. It was when was the first check? March?
No.
June? I haven't checked June later. I remember you had it pinned up on the board.
Yeah, well, that was the first big check we got, the one that was pinned on the board. So like you say, they did start getting, picking up more as it went on.
It took them 6 months to really get rolling.
Yeah.
So that's why it's half of what it should be. Hopefully next year it's.
That's good, goes to the general fund. Well, we usually a bit of that for the dog thing.
Well, it was over.
Okay, like I said, I just wanted to know. Thank you, Valerie.
Yeah,
He must be making money, he does big equipment.
He sure does.
Pay for it.
Big nice court.
He bought one of them for the, for the trumpet trees, he had it parked right in front of the.
Next time he's gonna pick up chief in administration.
Make him do that parade, Santa coming in on the. All right, number 19, discuss, consider, and take possible action to get shirts for city staff and officials.
I already did it.
Check.
Thank you, Valerie, also thank you for the shirt. Now, see,
Next time I'll get you a shirt and you put your name on it.
Okay.
I would make a locating tag.
I can't put names on this one
It
because
says
of the
U.S. Air
logo.
Force.
Yeah.
I was telling about we're going to Canary Island Independence. And, the meeting on the fourth weekend, that's my daily meeting, so my daughter goes. And she called me over, son, Dad, I want to show you something. She got the little logo. It's a cathedral in San Antonio. And she said, "Hey, you can do this." She had a little magnet. And she put it inside her mouth like that. There it is.
Yeah.
I can get you on name tags like that.
But the place is hot.
That's what we used to.
Yeah.
That we use. Okay.
All right, number 20, discuss, consider, and take possible action regarding contracting with Sabatino Consulting LLC to complete Event 940 and 941 tax returns from years 2015 to 22. City administrator.
I think we need to do that.
Yeah, we used to.
Yeah.
That's so many other.
We need to do it.
Where would this fall into the budget? It's $3,900 for the bill. Well, I guess it's $7,800 total.
Yes, well, either miscellaneous or.
Accounting or, audit.
We took out the bookkeeping. So,
How much money you have to pay on that?
78.
Well, this is just for the guy to figure out what's going on. This doesn't count any owed amounts.
Yeah, this is just the paperwork.
IRS would be separate. But this is everything to pay him to do this. And then anything else would be the IRS.
And we need to do something. Let us get on.
So where do you want to pay under the audit? Which is a line item that we might need to adjust then, once the company actually pays for the audit.
And then I can also,
Or miscellaneous.
try to find the less expensive audit.
Let's do miscellaneous for now until we find the less expensive over. Maybe we can shop around there. So would somebody like to make a motion?
Yeah, I would like to make a motion to get the funds to do these audits.
All right, there's been a motion to approve item number 20. Is there a second?
Second.
Item has been seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion passes. Number 21, discuss, consider, and take possible action regarding city membership in greater SATX for FY 2025 on matters related to city administration.
So last year when we joined this was $5,000, and that's what we budgeted for. And then they sent me the contract and invoice for 2025, and it's $10,000. And that's,
We need it.
well, the thing is, like, we're not really in a position to use it yet. You know what I mean?
It's been great because we've been getting those leads from the governor's office, but now that Valerie has been recently, we got on the list. So I went to that course in June so that we could get the leads direct instead of having to go through Greater SATX. Greater SATX, I think, is a great organization. They have meetings,
Yeah.
but we really haven't gotten it.
We haven't really gotten anything out of it.
But what they would do is help us submit properties or submit sites to be considered for those leads. We don't necessarily have to have them. It was great to be getting the leads. Now we've seen what the requests are. But when I went through the course, I learned a lot, and they talked all about how to submit for the sites.
Mhm.
But we couldn't get the leads directly because we have to have an employee that's trained, a full-time employee trained. Now that there's a slot opened up for Valerie to attend in November, I think we've already approved.
You already did, yeah, so I've already,
Yeah.
like, registered for it.
So this is just for 25, right?
This is just for,
So we're already good through November, December.
I believe it's based on the fiscal year, so I believe it.
So if we didn't approve it, got you trained, then we can get set up at the governor's office.
Yes,
And if we wanna come back, we can.
yes.
$10,000 is a lot of money.
And then I wanted to ask you too, you had told me about the one that it's like $25,000 to join, but there's a grant for it, but it's in January. Do you remember talking about that?
Yes.
So I don't know if you want to try to do that with the grant or the scholarship.
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever you like, there's several layers of those
Yeah.
organizations, mainly for like EDCs within staff, city staffs there too. I was the only mayor, I'll tell you that. But,
So, I mean, I don't know if that would like take the place of this.
no, you have to have this to get the lease. And if we can get
Yeah.
the lease sent direct, then, it was a great organization, but frankly, we didn't really get much out of it.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna help us get like a void analysis test and a marketing test. That's what they had told us, but then they really didn't do it.
I think we did that.
That's what this year's $10,000 membership is.
Plus, they do go on, like, they go on quarterly trips, they do go to trips, they do go meet with site selectors. It's really interesting, but they're going to Japan, they're going to South Korea, they're going to Germany, like, that's not a plane we don't have the budget to
Yeah.
send us to do that. It was $6,000 just to sit at their table in Vegas, that's not including transportation, food, and a hotel room, that's just to sit at their table. I mean, it's a good connection, it's expensive.
I think we get the same benefit we're getting now, applying the
So you're taking that class?
And they did say that you could be the temporary.
Yeah,
Did we send
I thought we did.
I thought we did too. You never actually. Let's look at it. So I know we approved the form we purchased.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, but if you haven't gotten anything, we can follow up.
Okay, that's what we'll do.
So are we,
So what else?
So we're doing an action not to renew, since I know it's a 3-year contract, but let's just make it official.
Would you like to make a motion to not renew the greater SCTX membership?
And we'll do that more, Mayor.
All right, a motion's been made not to renew the greater SATX membership. Is there a second? Item has been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those in favor of the discontinued membership?
No, I don't want
It says aye. It says aye. Yeah. It passes.
to, really,
So non-renewal. Then we can always reconsider in the future.
yeah,
Number 22, discuss, consider, and take possible action to approve the purchase of RMS by the police department. Chief.
So, when we're doing our budget talks, I don't know if you remember that, I had mentioned that with the way the current budget was proposed, they would allow me to make a purchase for a report management system for the police department. So, this system is one of the key things that the police department will need here in the future, especially with our community growing. It's gonna let the officers be able to do the reports online. It'll streamline the evidence processing, the way that we operate. This is from New and Blue, which is the people that are, the other companies that are doing ticket writing software. So the ticket writer software will be integrated along with this together. This system will talk to Bear County's CAD system. So basically with this purchase, we're cutting down on a lot of the paper that the police department burns on a day-to-day basis.
okay. So the big thing about this is, since 2019, really, police departments are not supposed to be paper focused. We're supposed to have a record management system. NIBRS reporting, it used to be UCR reporting, it used to be manual, you used to go into a portal and manually update. Well, now you're required to have an approved record management system. It auto downloads the file out and you upload that to the FBI directly.
Right.
So really, we're not in compliance with NIBRS because we don't have a system. So that affects grants, that affects our CJIS stuff. Like it used to be something considered optional for police departments. But
It was
really, in
budgeted back
2019, the FBI changed the rules and they don't care what your budget is. They selected certain vendors that they approved. This is an approved vendor, so really it's something that we are supposed to have. Like our police department's out of compliance with MIBUR's reporting because we don't have it. There is no manual reporting for that. There's no option for manual reporting. There's a, what's the file called? A flat file. You have to download a flat file from RMS and then you go into your FBI portal and you upload it. And it's not really optional anymore, so.
So it's compared to the recent, I thought we went through this recently with the AdCom or with.
This is AdCom, but that was for citation. This
Yeah,
is a record management system. So a record management system,
So the police reports.
paperless police department,
Yeah.
you're supposed to have everything electronic now. We're not supposed to be
I thought that was
like,
already part of the AdCom, so.
No, that was just tickets.
yeah.
Now, that system will talk to this system, but this is just reports. So every time there's an incident, every time there's an arrest, the reports will be done on this system.
Yeah, so like right now, when you get an open records request, they have to manually go through like files and file cabinets and like thousands, like I did a request for, I wanted all dog bite reports, all loose dog reports. There's literally thousands of files I have to go through to do that. A record management system, you go in, it's got a query search, it gives you everything. But the biggest part of it is the NIBUR's compliancy.
A lot of this, well, what this will do also is it'll put us in compliance to be able to get accredited down the line in a year or two.
And well, the thing with NIBUR's is if you're not NIBUR's compliant, you will not qualify for federal grants for 3 years. Because they kind of force your hand.
So talking about money, we are the beta agency for New and Blue. We're helping them do all the final touches on it. And then so because of that, they give us a big discount. Instead of $54,000, it's for $25,000. 15 of that is coming out of my asset forfeiture, and the other 10,000 is coming out of the existing line items.
Which one?
It's coming out of my service fees and my miscellaneous lines. So it's the money's there. Yeah, the money's already there.
And he quit using the lexical to have room for the arm.
The grants service, yeah.
Yeah, so.
What was it, Commissioner?
I was gonna ask if they had the funds to do it.
Yeah.
And it's not $25,000 per year.
No,
But
it's
that's the purchase and then there's the $5,000 left, yeah.
I'll make a motion, take the lead, let's go for that.
All right, motion's been made to approve, item 22, approve the purchase of RMS by the police department. Is there a second? Item's been seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, number 23, discuss, consider, and take possible action regarding partnering with Texas domestic nonprofits, volunteers, volunteer foundation, and association, and all matters subject to. I just wanted to add this item, not that we really need to take any action, but it was something that came up on the trunk or treat event, that there was volunteers, also known as the Ormy Foundation, another local nonprofit neighborhood group, that seemed like they have some overlapping, some kind of, basically the intent of, supporting Von Ormy, and I think it's great. And we started talking about various ways that we might be able to support those local nonprofits. You had mentioned having relationships with Columbia, and there's different ways, like I had various different questions on what that could look like. One of the items, at least on their little flyer, included like a library. We have funds for the library. Where's that line?
No, so it's more to like support the city library, not to do its own library.
I have a question. Who belongs to those organizations? Not the rebel, right?
So Mrs. Mela is part of the Von Ormy Foundation, and there's various different people involved with each of the group. I don't know all the Von Ormy cares. I know Tammy's involved. There was other people there at the trunk or treat. They have an email that they handed out on the flyer. I think they're both in the various stages of setting up their nonprofit association or nonprofit designation. So neither.
So Von Ormy cares. So I don't think like full disclosure, trying to not blur lines. Von Ormy cares is us. We started it because we have so many people coming in the office wanting help from the city that the city can't give them. we kind of did this as like a fill in the gap between the city and the people.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I was trying to keep it separate.
I think that,
But it's too, like, I mean, if we want to apply for like a boat rent or something, like, we can do it and donate it to the city. It doesn't require anything from the city.
Who were the people that were at the booth? I know, it was one of them.
The big one, moved.
Yeah.
That was insurance.
The one next to their own.
Yeah, so it's Von Army Cares, it's me, Amy, Marina, Tammy, and Amanda.
That's why you're all next to it.
So we were
I didn't know
like
that.
trying not to blur lines.
Yeah, we're trying to keep it separate, so there's no use of city stuff and
Yeah, no.
versus personal. We
it sounds good, but I think that it should work for us, you know, us for this.
What it's
Well, it needs to be separate.
it's just like if we can get resources that we can donate to the city or we can support the city.
Because the city can't apply for grants, and there's like a lot of resources out there for the citizens, but the city can't take advantage of
Like
that. 'cause
the
they're not
like the
affiliated
food
with the city.
pantry, but they will not partner with the city. They partner with the nonprofit that
Right.
supports the city. So that was really like the big thing.
Okay, for example, nonprofit,
And we're a nonprofit. We're a registered nonprofit corporation.
do something else.
Well, we're doing a 501c3 through the IRS, but we are a Texas nonprofit.
I don't get that, we're nonprofit.
Yeah, so, and that's the same thing, like, we all work together, so,
Where's that line though, of like us as the city can support those nonprofits, like.
it's not really, the city won't support it, it's the nonprofit supporting the city. The city's not gonna put anything into the nonprofit,
Right.
other than, like, y'all let nonprofits use the building to meet.
But it's through the same process,
Like,
they gotta put in the
if
application.
we wanted to do, like, a hot meal for Thanksgiving and give out plates, I mean, the resources would come from the city as much as the distribution point would come from, or like if we want to bring in a food bank and we want to give out food, like, would y'all allow us to use the building to do it?
You're saying us, you're saying Von Army Cares?
Yeah, Barney cares.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So like that's why I mean I wasn't ready to say anything. I wasn't.
Okay, so there's more to kind of.
Yeah, so this is in the plan state.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like we're a registered nonprofit corporation. We have our articles of incorporation from the Secretary of State. We have all that paperwork. We have our EIN and all that.
But when you do something for the citizens,
But
I don't know, people know that Bruce over here,
but it's like we can go help people cut their grass. Like a lot of people want public works to go cut the grass, and the city can't do that. But we can, like I can bring my own stuff and go cut their grass.
the
Basically,
nonprofit.
yeah,
It won't be the city doing it.
not the city.
Right.
That was kind of the point of it.
The conversation to me mattered. It's also the opportunity for the police department to get involved with.
Well, yeah, because the police department usually knows, like, hey, these people need help. These kids need some clothes. You know, these people need food. Like usually police, you do not see people on their best day.
Yeah.
So.
Cause I don't know
So
how
like
much.
we have a like law enforcement liaison, whatever. And like we've reached out to the schools. I've talked to the people at the RV park. They give me a list of people that need Thanksgiving meals. But I mean, it's not the city doing it. It's Von Army Cares doing it. But then like if we want to feed Von Army, we want to do a hot meal for Von Army, we would just need a place to do it. It's not any city money.
Right, they're completely separate. And when I
yeah.
say support, I mean just like, you know, a
It's just-
relationship where everybody is,
It's
you
just
know.
it's just a resource really. Just kind of to like fill in, like I say, like
Cause they're having like a lot of people who need help, and we,
We're having a lot of people
staff, we
come
only
in the
have a little
office.
bit of money ourselves, and, I mean, we're butchering animals, and I can give the meat to people.
yeah.
But, you know, there's more resources through nonprofits to apply for that the city does not have that kind of access to. So I've been doing the nonprofit in Natalia for 13 years, And I apply for a lot of things for the community that way, which is also because like for Friends of the Library, we've done community garden, we've done vouchers for the elderly for a farmer's market. And so that was my recommendations, like you need something, a stopgap between that, because it can cover everything. It can provide as a Friends of the Library to donate whatever to the city library. It can apply for grants for the police department, that there's things available
When
they
we
can't get.
were looking for computers, we found some police grants, I think through Walmart or something else we could apply for to get computers for the PD, but a city government couldn't apply for it. It had to be through a nonprofit.
So that's basically the thought, is like all the people who have needs, not only in Montgomery, but like, you know,
The
surrounding
surrounding areas,
communities,
yeah.
Somerset, who have needs that the city can't cover, and we as employees who, like, our heart breaks for them, we can't afford it. And so by having a nonprofit and taking advantage of any donations or grants out there, that helps fill the need. And so, I mean, you're limited by what you can apply for without that 501c3. And so that's our next
So we have
step.
the expedited application and all that, but it still takes 90 days, 60 to 90 days.
So it's not like it's a secret or it's covert, it's just
You
like.
were just
we-
trying not to blur.
I just didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I put it on there because I think the intent of it was great. It's another organization. If you have anything to add about the board. There are others. I think that the initiative behind that is beautiful, and you know, one of the.
Like I spoke to the people at the RV park with their food pantry, but they only service people that are 65 or older. There's a whole lot of our army that's not being serviced.
Right.
So like, is this something that like the elderly that don't have heating in their home, like something
Yeah,
they?
so like we can get heater, yeah.
Okay. That's one of the things that comes in.
Answer.
And so like ACOG has some grants for like housing repair, but they have to be in a certain level of repair. And so in order to get them to that repair, our idea, like that's another function of that.
This lady down here that really needs her yard cleaned, she can't do it. Like, we can go, yeah. So that honestly, her and another person were kind of like the main reason that we did it.
There's a couple of them.
They need help, and ACOG won't help them because they're not structurally sound. And then there's Mission Divine. The churches in Divine get together once a year. Well, Natalia Divine Little, they get together for 2 weeks. 200 volunteers come out and they just knock out projects for 2 weeks. Painting, plumbing, roofs, siding, cutting grass. So that's kind of like what we're just trying to emulate.
You know, like I talked to the organizer from Mission Design, and that's basically what it, that part's patterned after, so.
Yeah. That's the main thing, because the people's houses here, they need help. They come and ask me as the city, like, what can you do for me? And I can't do anything for you because the government can't spend money on a single person on private property.
Definitely need that.
So that's the intent of it.
I would get the intent, I like it. I just know, I know, now I know what I didn't know.
Have you asked them to their veterans?
Some of them are veterans.
If they can apply.
And I've referred a lot of people to you at the American Legion as well, so.
Whether, yeah, planes, whatever.
Well, no action. All right, 24, discuss, consider, and take possible action regarding the street maintenance sales tax and all matters related.
So there is a letter in your 23 that our street maintenance sales tax is set to expire in 2025. So, I mean, we have like quite a bit of time, but we need to.
So we have to set an election, and y'all have to decide whether you want to maintain it in street maintenance or if you want to roll it into the general fund.
So originally in 2008, the city could not take all of the sales tax into the general fund. You had to break it up into percentages. That's no longer the case now. You can put 100% in the general fund. But again, I mean, that's up to y'all, what y'all want to do with the sales tax and what the voters approve.
Or this is also an opportunity if you want to bring back the PPC, you can transfer that 100% to that.
Yeah.
But when would be like the time that we needed to decide?
It's going to expire on September 30th, so we need it in the May election.
Oh, so it was, so January?
January, February, we can make that call at the latest.
I would agree that the amount going to the street improvement fund is really not much to do anything with. I'd be curious though, if we did change it, what happens to the money that's in the street improvement fund? So we have to stay there. So I like to move back to the general fund or something else. If it were more,
It just gives you the freedom to do whatever you want with it.
we could still spend on that.
You can still spend it on rolling, you can still spend part of it on economic development.
Then we have $300,000. We didn't.
Well, they have almost 400.
We didn't hit it last year. Last year we thought it was in the 100.
Well, now we have the planning done.
Then we can get grants, maybe that's a matching fund.
Yes, exactly.
So let's put a pin in it.
What I wanted to do now to it. Yeah, I will come to the meeting.
She was supposed to be here.
I want to talk to her about the streets.
Well, I can show you tomorrow, I'll print out for you, they finished the plan for the city.
That's what I've been looking
So she was supposed to be here to present it tonight, but I have it, so I can print it out for you tomorrow.
for. That's okay. When she gets here, we talk to her about it. No, I want something done. Okay, where are we?
We're ready for
Executive session.
When they say y'all, have Raymond and Sammy done y'all's evaluations? Are y'all prepared to move forward with that tonight, or would y'all like to?
No, I just got mine today.
Okay.
So, I'm glad that,
He did his.
Well, I had a question for y'all, because last year, when we went in, I thought we were gonna do it then, y'all have done them individually. I don't have a problem doing them individually, if that's what I was gonna have that conversation. And then we put them, because we're each doing a form, and we can put them all together, make them available for each other if you want them. But, the one thing that I think needs to be aligned is that development plan and the goals for each of them. That's the one thing I think we all should compare, that we didn't do last year.
you know, we can work on it a couple of days, I'll turn it into,
Do y'all have any, I'm just trying to save us executive session on that item, if do y'all have any questions or anything?
I do.
Okay, all right.
I do. So let's go ahead and go into executive session. There's two things. There's two things. We all gonna stick around for the ending items. So we'll stay here. Thank you so much for coming.
yeah, thank you for coming.
So this time we're gonna go into our executive session. So this is where it has to be private
It's
here.
just a stack.
Are y'all staying in here?
Yeah, we'll
I mean,
stay
I
here
can
this
just go
time.
about it.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you very much for coming.